Howdy, SOS 232 folks. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. This is Dr. Sparks giving you a brief idea of how the lectures are going to go. And we're going to run through module 0 in this case. It's just a welcome to the course. I would recommend to go to the slideshow from the beginning and go ahead and bring up this full slideshow effect to get the quizzes and everything you would like to be able to do. So the next bit is to then go ahead and talk about Module 0, just a brief syllabus chat. Make sure everything makes sense. We'll break it down to 3 components. 1, the syllabus. 2, grading rubrics. And 3, general time management, because it's a busy course. I'm Dr. Josh Sparks. I'm working with the sociology program as an instructor. Office online, working on Canvas, and hopefully meeting up with you all through Microsoft Teams or through Zoom. Email joshua.sparks@eku.edu. The course description is statistical analysis of survey data, including farming sociological research questions, variable selection, analysis, interpretation, and writing in standard scientific form. Course prereqs are SOC 131 or equivalent. Class meeting time is, this is asynchronous. We don't have specific times, but deadlines and due dates, those are the big pieces. So make sure you check the syllabus for scheduled meeting times so that doesn't hit to the wayside. Download the syllabus, actually. Have it in your file folder along with all the other things you're putting in there for SOS 232. Make sure that you are good to go. I'll usually be readily available through our question board through the course together. Expect a reply within a day, typically, sometimes much sooner. But we all have lives. The goal is to make sure that this part isn't too stressful for you, even if I'm juggling a few other things. Office hours, along with a question board. I'll be available for FaceTime meetings through my office hours, typically on Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. each week. I'll aim to do it with Microsoft Teams. It seems like maybe a discontinued situation going on with Teams and Canvas. But if that doesn't work, we'll go with Zoom. All gets the job done. Email. Feel free to hit me up on the question board for things related to the course and the assignments, but anything that feels like you might want to be more private matters or just questions you feel like you want to just ask me directly, go ahead and email me. Happy to do it and to pick that up from there. Time requirements for this class. Expect to work at least 15 hours per module because we have a lot of work to do. Your schedule doesn't allow this type of commitment because we're all busy. We all have certain things. Maybe take this class another term that you feel a little less stressed about in terms of time crunch and focus on the other stuff. But I'd like to have you on. Just make sure to keep up because we have a busy few weeks ahead of us. Student learning outcomes. We want to apply the steps of the scientific method to social research questions, navigate and analyze large secondary survey databases, analyze, interpret, and write up descriptive statistics on survey data in standard scientific format, analyze, interpret, and write up bivariate statistics on tested propositions in standard scientific format, and analyze, interpret, and write up tests of statistical significance in standard scientific format. All in all, we're going to take the fancy stats stuff that feels a little intimidating right now, and we're going to formalize it and break it down and normalize it into your lingo. We're going to turn it into a way we can write it up. It's formal, but still understandable. Once you get done with this stuff, it's a lot of cool skills. So make sure to go ahead and just put things like data analysis, scientific report writing. These are skills that you're building in this class. There's no required text, but we basically, not Blackboard, my apologies, Canvas. It should be Canvas on there. Canvas will be on the text. It's more of a action-oriented course. So we're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to do things through the programming language Jamovi and using the GSS data sources. And we're going to get an understanding by doing. It's like baseball or sports or board games. It's a lot harder to just read the rules and really understand. Once you get in the process, then things start making a little bit more sense. We'll learn in other videos that I have posted how to do Jamovi and download and operate that, as well as getting a first-hand look into the General Social Survey. It's been around since 1972. I'm going to introduce it through the modules ahead, but it's really neat, and it's going to be actually one of the questions for your discussion board this week. SOS 232 is structured into 7 modules, and it's broken down into some, lecture material, instruction videos with supplementary tip sheets, practice quiz, blog requirements, and a set of assigned homework problems, 40%, module quiz, 30%, and time management self-assessment. It feels like a lot, but it's not too terrible. If you did one thing a day, you'd be fine. And part of it is to make sure that not any single component is going to make or break you in this class. You have a whole bunch of stuff that pulls together to formulate your assessment and your final grade. In fact, your final grade will be the subcategories for each module merged together to create a module grade that then be merged together to make your own grade. Module 1 is going to be 10% of your grade. So just sort of a hi, how are you introduction is kind of where we're going to start off. Modules 2 through 6 are going to be worth 17%. And then module 7 is worth 5%. For some of you, this might be seen as if I have a good enough grade in this class, I don't have to worry about anything. And indeed, for those who feel very comfortable, your grades should be will start to build up and to have a formal score be able to be posted after module 6. And then from there, you can sort of figure out, okay, should I do module 7 and get the extra 5%? So if I'm at an 87 and I want an A, then I should probably do it. If I'm at a 96 and I got some other things I gotta get done, maybe you might want to put that to the back burner and say, good job, you did the thing, you are done. Module 7 is also designed to help prepare folks who want to go to the next step because it deals with more research and report writing. So it's a good sort of introductory, getting your toes wet into that way of going about it. It's optional in the way that it will not break you like traditionally what we think the finals week would be. Instead, it's just sort of a way of, here's a final assessment, and if time is not your friend at the moment, you can skip it and still probably do about as well as you would without it. And the final grades are based on the following point totals. If you get less than 60 points or 60%, you get an F. 60 to 69.9 is a D. 70 to 79.9 is a C. Anything in the 80s is a B. And anything in the 90s is an A. There's no rounding of grades in this class to move to a higher letter grade. So don't make any requests in a semester's end. To assure the grades that you want to achieve in SOS 232, that's the grade you're going to receive, always complete, and submit your absolute best work. I will say this. I've been doing this stuff for about 10 years with SOS 232, and I've taught, and I sort of feel comfortable with the format. If you do all the basic requirements, it is very, 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 very hard to make less than a B in the class. Most people are making A's. So if you did every single component and you followed the directions in every single component, you might have a hiccup here and there. But it's usually the folks who are making C's or worse, the ones who are maybe not turning in things, not filling stuff in the 300 to 400 words it may take for a certain entry. But the other stuff, don't stress too much. This is the beginnings to set this foundation for you all. The course schedule, broken down into these 7 components, sort of tells us everything we're wanting to do, including the sort of modified version of the due dates. Now, I mentioned right now, Module 1 has a little bit of an extension. So make sure you read the midweek blog post for Modules 2 through 6, those deadlines, Module 1, that deadline. It's a little bit different. So you have a little bit more time to figure things out and not feel too stressed. In general, it's going to be every module assessment from 2 through 7 is going to be due at 11:59 p.m. of that Friday. Blog posts being due on Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Only module 1 is going to be different. If you miss things, if you're late, especially if you reach out to us, we might be able to offer extension or something like that. But if you don't tell us, then you can lose substantial points by just sort of not making it on time. Academic integrity statement, don't cheat. Don't cheat, don't cheat, don't cheat. And you know what cheating is. You all are smart individuals. So make sure to don't do those things. Check out the EKU's academic integrity policy. And more importantly, if you feel like you're confused about something, just ask me. I'm much happier to answer questions than have to deal with academic dishonesty case. That's no fun. The students are expected to complete their own work and not to share their assignments in the spirit of collaboration. These are building your own research skills, not someone else's. When it's clear through safe assignment, plagiarism tools, or whatnot, students have been collaborated, shared, have submitted other work. Those students will be quickly dismissed, automatically fail 232, and have to take this class again. Hopefully not together to prevent that cheating situation to occur. And the strict policies to assure the academic integrity of your future diplomas. We want to make sure that you all are putting all this time and money into this stuff. Let's actually make sure that if this is a school that doesn't push for academic integrity, then it's not worth anything. So we want to make sure we put those standards up to make this university degree worth it. As a final statement, relax. Don't stress. Ask questions, dig through, play around, learn the stuff. It's pretty cool, actually, if you get into oh, this is neat. This is what people are saying. Sometimes it's, oh, it makes perfect sense. And sometimes it's oh, I didn't think of that way. And that's kind of what research is. So we're going to go through, ease into it, and you got this. Take it easy, folks. Go ahead and as a side note, go ahead and take the quiz afterward and practice these things. Should be good to go. All right. Next part is grading rubrics. Both for the blog posts as well as these homework assignments I have here, I put the grading rubrics in the readings and materials. And as well as the performance level, what an A, B, C, and so on associates with a certain amount of points. So you'll get either 2, 4, 6 points for certain things, or the other one where it goes to 4, 6, and 10 for extra additional writing and really showing that you are the all-star students that I know you all are. Here sort of breaks down and gives you those questions to check for yourself to make sure that things are good to go. So ideally, some of this stuff makes sense. Eventually, we're going to have a computer printout portion that you have to turn in. Is it complete? Well, yeah. Is it correct? Hopefully. Additional writing. So usually there's going to be word count components. Hit them. Surpass them if you need to. Hopefully by not too much, but don't skimp on that. I will tell you, when you skimp on those points, that's where you lose those words, that's where you lose on those points. So don't do that. Responsive feedback, if you mess something up and we're able to say, I think you messed up here. Well, if you keep repeating it, then it's kind of saying that, oh, you're not really paying attention to the feedback we're giving you in our grading. And additional research questions. We're smart, savvy students who probably have lots of questions about the world around you. Let's expand upon that and figure out what's really going on. For the blog posts, this is out of 25 points. And we break it down to the timing. So basically, did you turn stuff in on time? Are you hitting the word counts and going to the rules of writing? Did the students include, when appropriate, the Jamovi output? So you want to do it for this module, soon you will. A little extra effort of going, really thinking about these things. Blog responses. You also have to have blog posts as well as 2 blog responses. So 1 to 2, so choose 2 students to reply to and give a reply to each of them worth at least 200 words that really sort of dig in and start bringing out a sociological conversation about what they're really bringing up. This week will be a little bit easier, a little bit more chill, so don't stress too much about certain word counts. But going forward, make sure to keep those things in mind. Final piece is time management. If we're going to manage all this time that we're having to deal with at least 15 hours, feels a little stressful sometimes. College is stressful. So I also added a time management self-assessment. This survey, if you do it every week, is 5 percentage points of your module grade every week. Yeah, you don't have anything else to worry about. You find a copy of this time management self-assessment on the reading materials tab in module 1. Answering the following questions. Did I start the module early enough? I spent so much time on it. I was able to manage my time, or I had difficulty, and I plan on staying on track with module assignments. So short answer. All of them get full credit as long as you fill out the survey. So be honest with yourself and know that there is no incorrect answer. Just give yourself a chance to check in. Maintenance is good. For this week only, for Module 1, assignments and deadlines are going to go a little bit differently because you all are getting used to this format. Assessments are going to be due the first week. Blog posts and replies, introductions, all that stuff's going to be going down. The blog posts are going to be due on Thursday instead of Wednesday, but only today, or only this module. In Module 2 and beyond, we're going to go back up to Wednesday. Make sure to download Jamovi, test it out, get used to it for Module 2. The homework this week is a syllabus quiz with unlimited attempts until the end of Module 1, which means, let's say you take it for the first time, you get a 50. Oh no! Take it again. Take it again. Time will be your penalty for that. But the highest grade counts. So if you did a 50 in the first time and you retook it and you get 100, then you got 100 on the homework. The goal is to get full points for the homework this week. The quiz will be on lecture 1 slides, so we were 30%, and then a self-assessment, time management, again, another 100. So as long as you're sort of hitting these main points, you should get pretty close to full marks in module 1. So you have a 2-day extension, get comfortable. So it's a nice review. We went over the syllabus and course review, did the grading rubrics, and we talked about time management, which is important. Make sure to look through the syllabus, the grading rubrics, and everything, and check your course schedule when all assignments are due for module 1. We got this.